Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order this Tuesday, February 6th, 2024 regular meeting of the Pierce County Council. The time is 3:02 p.m. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Campbell.
Here.
Councilmember Krueger.
Here.
Councilmember Denson.
Here.
Councilmember Herrera.
Excused.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Excused.
Councilmember Morrell.
Here.
And Councilmember Mello.
Here.
There are 5 members present, Mr. Chair.
Councilmember Herrera has just joined us virtually. Welcome, Councilmember Herrera.
Thank you. I'm here.
We have 6 members present and a quorum. Item number 3 is our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and our land acknowledgement. Please join us in listening to the land acknowledgement and Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, led by Councilmember Denson, followed by a moment of silence dedicated to our men and women serving overseas in the military. Councilmember Denson.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Is my microphone on?
Who's over there?
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Chair. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional homelands of the Coast Salish tribes. Coast Salish people have lived on and stewarded these lands since time immemorial and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step towards true allyship, and we commit to uplifting the voices, experiences, and histories of the indigenous peoples of this land. I'd like to invite all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are now at section 4, which is the approval of our agenda. Are there any objections to approving today's agenda as presented? Seeing no objection, the agenda is approved. On today's council agenda, there will be multiple opportunities for public comment. On the consent agenda, you may provide comment on any final action item. This does not include items placed on the consent agenda simply for introduction or scheduling. On today's consent agenda, there are 3 appointment resolutions for final hearing and 1 grant approval that will be open for public comment. During sections 8 and 9 of the agenda, we will take public comment on each ordinance and resolution individually. And finally, under community forum, there will be an opportunity to address the council on any topic that is not on today's agenda. For more information on the rules for public participation, please review them at the bottom of page 1 of today's agenda. So that brings us to section 5, our consent agenda. Does any member wish to pull any item from the consent agenda? Vice Chair Campbell.
Chair, I would move approval of the consent agenda as amended, moving item C2B and item C2C to section 9.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of moving items C2B and C2C to section 9 of our agenda. This is a public hearing on the remaining final action items on the consent agenda. There are no members of the public here in council chambers. Mr. Weinsbury, anybody in our Zoom room wish to provide comment on the remaining items on the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. For any members of the public who wish to provide comment on final action items, press the raise hand icon in Zoom or *9 on your telephone keypad. And I see no hands at this time, Chair.
Seeing no hands, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the council. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on the consent agenda?
Councilmember Krueger.
Aye.
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
And I must call Councilmember Hitchin because she's here. Councilmember Hitchin. Excused. Councilmember Morrell,
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell,
Aye.
and Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
Passes on a roll call vote of 6 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 6 ayes and 0 nays, the consent agenda is adopted. There are no messages from the executive, judges, or prosecuting attorney today. And likewise, under Section 7, we have no proclamations, recognitions, or awards today. That brings us to Section 8, ordinances. But before we do that, is there any objection to moving to some members of the public that are joining us for resolutions, appointment resolutions? We're not seeing any objection. Excuse me while let's see. So we have proposal number R 2024-118 before us. Vice Chair Campbell, this is C2C 2024-118.
Thank you, Chair. I would move proposal number R 2024-118.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 2024-118. Madam Clerk, will you please read the title into the record?
Proposal number R 2024-118, a resolution of Pierce County Council confirming the appointment of one new member, Doris Tinsley, to the Pierce County Birth to 25 Advisory Board.
Thank you. For the record, Councilmember Hitchin has joined us. You know, she was in a community meeting in Parkland. For the record, she has joined us. Councilmember Hitchin, do you mind just saying something to make sure that your audio is working?
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hitchin. We hear you loud and clear. Well, we have Doris Tinsley with us. This is a resolution to confirm the appointment of Doris Tinsley to the Pierce County Birth to 25 Advisory Board. Doris, we would love for you to briefly introduce yourself and share why you wish to serve.
Hi, can everyone hear and see me?
We can hear and see you well. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. My name is Doris Tinsley. I wanted to serve on this board because although I am not a member of the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, I am an enrolled member of the Shinnecock Indian Nation of Long Island, New York, so I'm far away from home. But I was taught at a very young age, wherever we go, we are stewards to our land, our language, and our people. And I wanted to be an advocate for young people like myself, because you don't see many folks of our community on these boards and in rooms and at tables. And my mom always said, if there wasn't a table, build your own table. So I'm really happy to be here and experience this. And my hope and outcome is that I can inspire other young people to not be scared of the world of politics and all of the legalese. And so I'm here to just make it tangible and bite-sized for folks like myself to follow. Thank you.
Doris, thank you. Thank you for your interest in serving and taking time to be with us so we can get to know you a little bit. We also have the benefit of your written materials in our packet. Does any member have any questions for Doris before we open this up for a public hearing? I don't see any. Again, Doris, thank you for making yourself available. This is a public hearing on the appointment of Doris Tinsley to the Birth to 25 Advisory Board. Any member of the public wish to provide comment, we invite you to come to the podium and state your name for the record. Anyone here in chambers wishing to provide comment on this appointment resolution? Not seeing anybody come forward. Mr. Weinsberry, anybody in our Zoom room?
Yes, sir. For any members of the public who wish to provide comment on proposal number R 2024-118, press the raise hand icon on Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. And I see no hands at this time, Chair.
Seeing no hands, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the council. Are there final comments, final remarks by council members? Councilmember Hitchin.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to acknowledge and thank Doris for stepping up this seat for our Native American and Indigenous people has been vacant on the Birth to 25 Advisory Board, and we knew it was important to have somebody with lived experiences, as with tribal connections, that could really support the voice of the thousands of people that live in our community that are Indigenous. And so I just want to express my true appreciation that you were willing to step up. And they are diving into some really great work this year. So I'm excited to have your voice there to contribute. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Doris, thank you again for your interest and willingness to serve. Your background's going to serve us very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on Resolution 2024-118?
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Hinchin.
Aye.
Councilmember Morrell.
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Krueger.
Aye.
And Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 7 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the resolution is adopted. We are back on ordinances, Section 8 of our agenda. We're at proposal number 2023-76. Vice Chair Campbell for a motion, please.
Thank you, Chair. I move proposal number 2023-76.
Ms. Long, would a motion right now be in order to continue?
Absolutely, right. So the motion, as we discussed earlier, to continue to the 20th of this month?
Would you be willing to do that, Vice Chair Campbell?
Yes. I would make a motion to continue this to the meeting of February 20th, 2024.
It's been properly moved and seconded to continue proposal 2023-76 to the meeting of Tuesday, February 20th. The purpose is not all of the steps have been complied with the Pierce County Code related to this matter, and there's also a few outstanding questions from council members to get those answers back to council. So for that, staff is recommending a continuance to Tuesday, February 20th. We'll take a voice vote on this continuance to the meeting of Tuesday, February 20th. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion is adopted.
Was that seconded by anybody?
It was moved by Vice Chair Campbell and seconded by Councilmember Morrell.
Thank you. I didn't hear that. Thank you.
Thank you. We're at item number 2 under ordinances, which is proposal number 2023-77. Councilmember Denson for a motion, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I move proposal number 2023-77.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt proposal 2023-77. Madam Clerk, please read the title into the record.
Proposal number 2023-77, an ordinance of the Pierce County Council vacating a portion of D Street Northwest, lying in the southwest quarter of Section 26, Township 21 North, Range 1 west of the Willamette Meridian, Pierce County, Washington.
Thank you. Mr. Swanson, good afternoon.
Thank you, Chair Mello, members of the council. Beginning on page 197 of your electronic packet, we have for you today proposal number 2023-77, which would vacate a portion of D Street Northwest. The county is in receipt of a petition from citizens requesting that the council vacate a portion of D Street Northwest in the Lake Bay area of the Key Peninsula. Under the state law, the council has the authority to vacate an abandoned county right-of-way under 2 conditions: if there's no use within the county's road system and it's determined that the vacation would be to the benefit of the public. The right-of-way proposed came into possession of Pierce County as part of the original plat of home back in 1909. And the documents of such are in your packet, and those historical documents are entertaining to look at. But you can see on there, in the original home plat, this portion being dedicated to the county in that for a future road that never materialized over the last 115 years now. The county engineer has reviewed the citizen's application and has made the 2 determinations. One, that this segment of roadway is not needed in the county's roadway system, and has also determined that it is in the best interest of the public to grant the proposed vacation. It has also been determined that this segment of roadway is a type NE. And what that means is that staff has no reason to believe county funding has been expended in the construction, maintenance, or acquisition of this segment of roadway. Thus, the petitioners only need to pay the application fee of $1,500 for that roadway segment to revert back to the property owners. So there's no payment of the assessed value of the land that enters into the calculus with a type NE roadway. Again, there is a letter in your packet from the county engineer who does recommend granting the proposed vacation. A public hearing was held on this proposal at the Economic and Infrastructure Development Committee on January 23rd, where it did receive a do pass recommendation. An equity analysis is also included in your packet for this proposal, and you will also see the fiscal note in your packet acknowledging the receipt of $1,500 in revenue to the county, which is deposited in the Building and Development Fund. With that, we have council staff, and then we also have Mr. Pat Turco from Planning and Public Works available on the call to answer any questions the council members have.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Mr. Turco, on behalf of the department, do you have anything to add?
No, I do not. Mr. Swanson explained it very well.
Thank you for making yourself available for any questions. Do any members have any questions before we open this up for a public hearing? I don't see any. So let's move to a public hearing on proposal 2023-77. Any members of the public here in chambers wish to provide comment, please come to the podium. We don't see anybody coming to the podium in council chambers, so we'll move to the Zoom room. Mr. Weinsberry.
Yes, sir. For any members of the public who wish to provide comment on proposal number 2023-77, press the raise hand icon of Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. And I see no hands at this time, Chair.
Thank you. We'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the council. Final remarks by council members. Councilmember Denson.
Actually, I was going to try and jump in because I see an individual, the landowner, is on Zoom. Mr. Holm, I didn't know if you wanted to say a few words, if that would be okay, Chair. Or if you're just listening, that's okay. Don't mean to make you have to talk. Is it okay, Chair, if he says a few words?
I'm okay with it. I don't see any objection from members. Mr. Weinsberry, can you see if that attendee...
He's got his hand up now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, yes, I just want to thank you all for your support of this measure. It makes a lot of sense to vacate that property. A couple of years ago, there was a homeless woman living there, and so we're all adjacent landowners are appreciative of your attention to this. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us. Rob Home is the name of the individual. Do they live in Home?
I think so.
How wild. That's awesome. There's a community called Home on the Key Peninsula for anyone who doesn't know, so that's really awesome. So we'll close our public hearing, bring it back to the council. Are there final remarks by council members? I don't see any. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on proposal 2023-77?
Councilmember Hinchin.
Aye.
Councilmember Morrell.
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Krueger.
Aye.
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 7 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the ordinance is adopted. We are at resolutions. I'm going to come back to a resolution that Vice Chair Campbell moved to this section, and it's proposal R 2024-117. Vice Chair Campbell, do you mind making a motion to continue?
Thank you. I'm moved that we continue proposal number R 2024-117 to the meeting of February 13th.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we continue proposal R 2024-117 to the meeting of Tuesday, February 13th. The purpose here for public information is the application materials in our packet don't seem complete, and council would like to see the complete application materials before we finalize the confirmation process. We'll take a voice vote on We'll take a voice vote on the motion to continue proposal R 2024-117 to the meeting of February 13th. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion is adopted. Under Section 9, Resolutions, we have proposal R 2024-1112. Councilmember Hitchin for a motion, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move for adoption R 2024-112.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2024-112. Madam Clerk, please read the title into the record.
Proposal number R 2024-112, a resolution of the Pierce County Council setting the date of an evening District Number 6 Council meeting for Thursday, March 7, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. at Steilacoom Town Hall, 1717 Lafayette Street, Steilacoom, Washington. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Long.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The Pierce County Charter provides that the council shall conduct at least one evening meeting each year in each of the 7 council districts, and the council's rules of procedure at Chapter 128 of the code provide that the specific time, place, and dates of these evening district meetings be set by resolution. The resolution before you today does just that for the District Number 6 evening meeting, and the details were just stated by the clerk. And I'll note that this meeting will be held in addition to the regular 3 p.m. Tuesday, March 5th council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hitchin, anything to add?
Thank you, Chair. We have done a tour of District 6 in my time on the council thus far, and I am excited to have you come out to Steilacoom. And we will have a delightful evening and looking out on the water and enjoying some good dialogue with the community of Steilacoom. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Councilmember Hitchin? Councilmember Morel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think Councilmember Hitchin is just trying to get us close to the ferries as possible, so that way we can take a look. I was kind of disappointed. I thought maybe we might get a trip on a ferry to Anderson Island and hold a meeting over there. But Steilacoom is a nice town to have a meeting in. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Hitchin.
Thank you, Chair. Councilmember Morel, I did contemplate a floating meeting, and PCTV shut that down pretty quick. So, thank you.
Oh, jeez. Raining on your parade.
Vice Chair Campbell.
I would say following the meeting, any council member is welcome to get on that ferry and take it to Anderson Island. It might be the last ferry of the night, so you might want to check some of the Airbnbs if you're going to do that. But we can arrange that for you, Mr. Morel.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands. Thank you for preparing for us, Councilmember Hitchin, and getting us to the wonderful community of Steilacoom. This is a public hearing on this resolution to set the in-district meeting date of Council District 6's in-district meeting for March 7th. Anyone in chambers wishing to provide comment? I don't see any. Mr. Weinsberry, anybody in our Zoom room?
Yes, sir. For any members of the public who wish to provide comment on proposal number R 2024-112, press the raise hand icon on Zoom or *9 on your telephone keypad. And I see no hands at this time, Chair.
You know, hands. We'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the council. Are there final remarks by council members? Seeing none, thank you again to you and your office, Councilmember Hitchin. We know it'll be an interesting time learning about what's going on in District 6. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on Resolution 2024-112.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Krueger.
Aye.
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Aye.
Councilmember Morel.
Aye.
And Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 7 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the resolution is adopted. We're at proposal number R 2024-117. Councilmember Krueger for a motion, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move R 2024-117.
we already
I'm,
proposed that.
yeah, but
That's like,
that's my fault, Councilmember Krueger.
Glad I remembered what you said.
That's, but my apologies, Councilmember Krueger. But we did continue this to the meeting of February 13th.
So that motion is out.
So we will not take that motion. Thank you, Councilmember Krueger. We will anticipate taking that motion next week. So we are at section 10, community forum. Community forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the council on any topic that is of significance to or affecting Pierce County government and that did not appear on today's agenda. There is a 3-minute time limit. We ask you to state your name if you would like it on the record and to address all comments to the chair. We'll start with those in chambers.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, council members. For the record, my name is Alton McDonald. I am a taxpayer and resident of Tacoma, Washington, Pierce County. So I'm here to talk about your budget. 80% goes to criminal justice. We see here as black people in this community, we get injustice every day, every step of the way, and we're taxpayers, and we're also Americans and veterans who have served this great nation. And so I want to talk about Judge Grant Blinn, as it relates to Davis Hammond, who stand before Judge Blinn's court. This man had been arrested in October 2023, mentally ill. The judge refuses for him to get a mental evaluation in Western State. The judge afforded Mr. Hammond to represent himself, who's mentally ill. How can Judge Blinn allow this to happen? He's a black man. He deserves to be treated like every American in this country. I will continue to echo my dissent. Judge Blinn needs to do the right thing. We also Judge Cherkoff during the Manny Ellis trial. What he did, counsel, we watched that. We also knew that Christopher Burbank, Matthew Collins, and Timothy Rankin did in fact murder Manny Ellis on March the 3rd of 2020. 3 months prior, and then after that, it was George Floyd. They haven't gotten away yet. We hope and pray that the Justice Department will deliver justice to our community. We cannot have officers walking around with a badge and with a gun, hiding behind the badge and the gun to say they're law enforcement officers and committing crime against our community. It's criminal. When an officer tarnishes his or her badge, he becomes a criminal and no longer an officer. Now we have an incident I brought before this council back in 2014, where the 4 deputies from Pierce County who were serving as University Place police officer murdered Ronald Hillstrom. This county paid the family $750,000. Those 4 deputies are still in the force. The medical examiner ruled homicide, that Mr. Hillstrom died from homicide. We know the difference. If I die in my home, in my bed from natural causes, that means the Lord, the good Lord above, just took Alton McDonald home. My heart stopped beating. Alton went home to glory, looking down on those who hoping that they may do the right thing. But when the medical examiner ruled that Alton McDonald died from homicide, that means somebody killed me. Counsel, I'm asking you, please, to look into Ronald Hillstrom's death, that you have paid $750,000 for 4 officers who murdered this man in University Place. He was mentally ill.
Thank you,
We should not allow him to get away with this. All I'm asking for is for justice. And this county needs to do the right thing. Do the right thing, uphold justice, and spend the taxpayers' money in the right way that it should be spent. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. I don't see any other members of the public here in council chambers. Mr. Weinsberry, anybody in our Zoom room for community forum?
Yes, sir. For any members of the public who wish to provide comment, press the raise hand icon on Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. And it looks like we have 1 hand at this time. Last name, meeting, and heard. Please state your name for the record.
David Terry Hurd. I've lived in Pierce County all of my life. Well, most of it. Served in the military, kind of took me away. But I want to bring up today a question that I bring up at our various community meetings that I've attended concerning property tax. and the escalation of the property tax that we are going to have to pay. When our state was formed, I'm sure they did not see the bidding wars for residential properties in our neighborhoods that raise our property tax of those who live there. I want you to consider the fact that, in my case, I bought the piece of property that I currently still live in 33 years later, that this property I bought, I agreed to the price, I knew the taxes that I was going to have to pay, and I have honored that. But the honor that I have has been taken advantage of by our tax system, both Pierce County and the state of Washington, ever raising the amount of money that they figure this piece of property has come to. I'm reminded of the story of squeezing blood out of a turnip. That's about what's happening with a lot of people that have lived in their residence for a long time. We never will have ownership of our property due to this tax structure that has made sure that the county and the state owns the property, and I am renting it by whatever tax that I cannot vote on is being implemented against us. Please consider the fact that as an American citizen, a veteran, and all those other things that I have, I don't have the ability to go out and get another job every year that's going to give me 30 to 50% more wage increase to pay for the taxes that has been happening to the property that I live in for the last several years. This is leading to a confrontation of the taxpayers not looking at the elected representatives supporting living in a piece of property, especially now when we look at the help we're trying to give the undocumented aliens coming in. We're almost all undocumented aliens. Please consider reviewing the tax program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have caller ending in 301. Please state your name for the record.
Hello, Yolanda Markle, Spanaway, Frederickson area. And just to follow Terry about the taxes, it's because we don't collect any here in Pierce County except from us little homeowners. Right now we're building more homes that are necessary, but if they're not a single dwelling, if they're a duplex or a fourplex or a building, they're not charging them any taxes. Only the single house, the single family is getting charged. Impact fees, again, I've been screaming about this forever. We don't collect the impact fees. Why? Because the Master Builders Association don't like it. They don't want to collect, and with the help of the county executive. So, and again, our taxes have been raised and they're putting in sewer pipes. We didn't ask for sewer pipes. We need sidewalks and lights so that our children are safe going to school. We've already had 2 children this year hit by a vehicle, and one of them lost their life. We need to spend our money in the places that are necessary and collect the taxes from all these builders that are not collecting them for our infrastructure. And when the Orange Tong was in office, he started a thing called the community zone. And I don't know it for a fact, but I have a little sneaky feeling that all those warehouses that were built there in Frederickson that are still empty are part of that community zone, which gets a 10-year tax deferment. Again, no taxes for our communities. Those could have been homes They could have been filled with people, and we need to tax the people. We need to not just tax the single-family dwellings. Builders, duplexes, all those buildings need to be taxed. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
And there are no other hands at this time, Chair.
Seeing no further hands, we'll close the public comment, community forum portion of our meeting, bring it back to the council. As always, we want to sincerely thank members of the public for raising issues that are of importance to you. We listen to you, and we appreciate you raising your concerns and ideas. We're at section 11, other business and announcements. Vice Chair Campbell.
Thank you, Chair. I know we don't normally respond to public comment, but I did want to respond to Mr. Hurd. I know it's something that we've talked about is seniors aging in place, being able to remain in the homes that they're on. You can go on the Pierce County Assessor's webpage, and there's information on our senior exemption program for people making seniors between 46 and 64,000. There's a variety of exemptions, but the state legislature passed a suite of exemptions to help people stay in their homes. And so you can go on that website and get more information. If you're not able to find that, reach out to your council member and they can help you find it. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us of that, Vice Chair Campbell. I would add, not only did the exemption income threshold get increased a little bit, as you just noted, we also have new tools on the website that you pointed folks to that has a video to try to make it easier to understand how to apply. Just as of last year, the application materials went online for the first time. You don't have to go down in person or handwrite it. You can do it online if that's easier for you. So there's been some accessibility improvements, and this council also appropriated funds for more staff so that there's more technical assistance and staff to help support individuals who are trying to work their way through the property tax exemption process. So thank you for reminding us of that, Vice Chair Campbell. Councilmember Hitchin.
Thank you, Chair. I will share in more detail possibly next week or in the office tomorrow, but I just wanted to let everybody know the reason Councilmember Herrera and myself were not in person is there was a big announcement being hosted by Pacific Lutheran University in Parkland. They have developed a partnership under the leadership and kind of I'm going to say shepherding of work from the executive's office to basically create a partnership that will have a medical center in Parkland affiliated with PLU that will include teaching future doctors, nurses, while actually providing health care in the community. And so it's a partnership with Wazoo and Multicare and PLU, and it's going to bring healthcare to many who struggle to access it, and will actually train future medical providers that will hopefully, because they train in our community, stay in our community. And I'm very sure that PLU and Multicare and Wazoo will be splashing stuff today. They were very excited, and as was the community. So just wanted to share that. And if people are interested, the media was there to kind of see what was going on, because they've been working on this for over 2 years. So it was very exciting to see the fruition and have the official announcement happen today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hitchin. Thanks for sharing that. Very interesting news. That sounds like a very exciting announcement for our community, and being there with Councilmember Herrera to represent us. Do any other members have any other business or announcements? I don't see any. Ms. Long, do you have any other business or announcements? With no further business before the Pierce County Council, we are adjourned.